My name is Layla Dawson. I'm 37 years old, and I still can't decide what shocks me more, that he actually did it, or that it took me 8 months to finally be done with him. When I replay everything now, it starts to feel like one of those slow burn dramas you yell at on TV. How did you not see it, Layla? He was using you. Trust me, I see it now. I met Brandon at a friend's barbecue on a warm Saturday in June. He was 29, tan from working outside on shoots, as he put it, and perfectly casual in a white t-shirt that was just tight enough to show off the gym membership he definitely mentioned twice. I'd brought potato salad. He'd brought nothing but a six-pack of charm. He slid into the conversation like he'd already practiced his lines. So what do you do, Layla? I manage a warehouse distribution center, I said. Nothing glamorous, but it pays well and nobody starves. He laughed. You look way too put together to spend your days around forklifts. I rolled my eyes, but I smiled. It felt good, being seen. I'd spent the last few years focused on work, paying off old debts, rebuilding my savings, after one very expensive breakup and a series of smaller, quieter disappointments. I wasn't really looking for anything serious, but Brandon was persuasive. He did social media consulting, which, from what I could tell, meant he was always on his phone and somehow always between big clients. At the time, I told myself it was modern, flexible, creative. Now I know flexible was just another word for unstable, and creative meant creatively broke. At first, it was normal. I paid for our first date. I'd suggested the place, a mid-range bistro, nothing crazy. He made a big show of saying, I'll get the next one. He didn't. Second date, third date, fourth. Every check slid neatly to my side of the table like it knew who it belonged to. I didn't think much of it at first. I make good money. I'm not cheap. And I've been conditioned like a lot of women to be grateful when a man is charming and attentive, not to nitpick the details. But by the end of the second month, a pattern was forming. He always knew the best places in town. The rooftop bar with the $18 cocktails. The sushi place where the rolls were beautiful and the bill was brutal. The new fusion spot where the lighting was perfect for photos and the portions were better suited to Instagram than humans. He always had reasons why I should pay. Babe, my invoice didn't clear yet. I'm waiting on a client to pay me. It's a whole thing. You know I'd get this if my card wasn't maxed from that equipment I had to buy. At some point, I realized I didn't know a single concrete detail about his so-called clients. I'd never seen him actually working, mostly just scrolling, editing posts, filming stories. But I pushed the thought away. It felt rude, untrusting. And I liked him. He was fun. He made me laugh. He made me feel not alone. That's the thing about users. They don't show up with a sign that says, I'm here to drain you. They show up with a smile and let you fill in all the blanks with hope. Month 3, the check test happened. We were at this trendy tapas place downtown. Exposed brick, candles, the kind of place where the menu doesn't have prices printed in bold because they'd rather you not think about it too hard. The plates had been small and the bill would not be. The server dropped the check between us and walked away. I decided to wait. Brandon smiled at me, then at his phone, started scrolling. No movement toward the leather folder. I took a sip of water and pretended to fix my napkin. Nothing. He laughed at something on his screen, showed me a meme, leaned back, relaxed, like we were just hanging out at home and not sitting in front of a bill that could probably be heard whimpering. Finally, I opened it. Of course it was high, of course. I pulled out my card while he watched, and something in my chest tightened. On the way home, I couldn't shake it. He'd never even pretended to reach. A week later, I brought it up. We were at my place, sitting on the couch. Netflix menu glowing blue on the screen, neither of us actually picking anything. Hey, I started, my voice casual, too light. Can we talk about something kind of boring? He smirked, as long as it's not about taxes. Money, actually, I said. I've noticed I've been paying for pretty much everything. I don't mind helping out, but could we maybe split things more or take turns? For a second, something flickered in his eyes. Annoyance? Calculation? It was gone so fast, I almost thought I imagined it. He sighed dramatically, leaning back. Layla, come on. You know I make way less than you. You have a real career, he said. That last word dipped in this strange mixture of admiration and resentment. I'm still building my business. It's not like I'm out here mooching. I just can't keep up with your income. The way he said your income made it sound like an accusation. I felt my stomach twist. I'm not asking you to match me dollar for dollar, just effort, even small things. He went quiet, then looked away. So you think I'm using you? He asked. Is that what you're saying? His voice had gone soft and wounded, and there it was, the pivot. My concern turned into his hurt. I didn't say that, I replied quickly. I just don't want to feel like I'm your ATM. The word hung there between us. He flinched, then laughed humorlessly. Wow, so I'm some broke loser leeching off you now? I shook my head. Brandon, that's not what I... He cut me off with a sigh. You know what? Forget it. If it bothers you that much, we can just stop going out. We'll stay in. That'll be cheaper, right? Cheaper. There it was. The first time he used that word on me. You're twisting this, I said quietly. I'm just trying to set some boundaries. He looked at me for a long second, then shrugged. Whatever, Layla, I get it. You're just the type who keeps score, I guess. I felt my face heat. The worst part wasn't what he was saying. It was how familiar it felt. I'd been here before, in another relationship, being told that asking for basic fairness meant I was difficult, too intense, overreacting. That relationship had ended with me covering most of the rent and all of the debt. I should have recognized the pattern. Instead, I backed down. It's fine, I murmured. Forget I said anything. He smiled, immediately lighter. See, that's my girl. My girl, my wallet. I didn't know it yet, but that was the night I started keeping score. Not of the money, but of the moments I swallowed my discomfort just to keep the peace. After that, I tried a different approach. I started suggesting cheaper places. Hey, there's this cute local Italian spot near my work, I'd say. Entrees are like $20. Food's really good. He'd wrinkle his nose. I saw a TikTok about this new place downtown. Super vibey, insane cocktails. The plating is wild. Let's go there instead. We deserve nice things, babe. Do we? I'd ask, half teasing. He'd grin, lean in, and kiss me. You work so hard, Layla. Don't be cheap with yourself. Cheap. I grew to hate that word. Cheap was his magic spell. Say it once, and suddenly I felt like I had something to prove. That I wasn't small, or stingy, or unfun. That I could afford it. That I was generous. And I am generous. I just didn't realize I was being generous with someone who saw my hard work as his lifestyle. Every dinner became a mini photo shoot. He'd stand up, rearrange the plates, make me hold my fork just so while the food cooled in front of me. Wait, one more angle, he'd say, crouching beside the table, phone out, while other diners watched with a mix of amusement and irritation. By the time I finally got to eat, everything was lukewarm, including my patience. But when he posted the photos, the captions always read the same way. Treating myself, my kind of night, my vibe. My money, his narrative. Looking back, there were 100 small moments that should have told me exactly who Brandon was. But the thing about slow reveal stories is that you don't realize you're in one until the plot twist hits you in the face. For me, the twist would arrive months later at an airport gate with a champagne flute in his hand and my credit card funding his first-class seat. At month 3, though, I just went home, checked my banking app, saw the growing total of treats and experiences, and told myself the lie so many people tell themselves right before the fall. It's just money. He's worth it. He wasn't. And I was about to find out just how expensive that lie could get. Month 4 was when the emergencies started. Not mine, his. I was at work, sitting in my tiny office surrounded by shelves of inventory reports, when my phone buzzed. Brandon's name lit up the screen, followed by 3 missed calls and a half-dozen texts. Brandon, babe, please pick up. It's important. It's an emergency. My heart jumped. I excused myself from a meeting and stepped into the hallway to call him back. He answered on the first ring, voice already shaking. Layla, oh my God, thank you. I'm freaking out. What happened? I asked, picturing an accident, a hospital, something real. My car, he said. I brought it in for an oil change, and they said my brake pads and rotors are shot. They won't let me drive it out of the shop. It's like $600. I don't have it. I can't pay it. I need my car for work. I don't know what to do. I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes. 600 isn't nothing, but it's also not life-destroying. Not if you plan. Not if you're responsible. Did you know this was coming? I asked. I mean, it's been making noises, but... He let his voice crack. Layla, I'm serious. I can't lose this car. If I can't drive to clients, I can't get paid. If I can't get paid, I'm screwed. It was scripted. I didn't know that then, but now I can hear the beats. Step 1, panic. Step 2, make it about survival. Step 3, put the weight of his future on my shoulders. I'll help, I heard myself say, almost in slow motion. Put the mechanic on the phone. The relief in his voice was instant. Really? Oh my God, thank you. I knew I could count on you. Knew. The mechanic came on, walked me through the quote, and I gave him my card number over the phone. $600 gone in 90 seconds. Delete my card after you run it, I added, out of habit. Of course, the guy said. I hung up and Brandon came back on. You're amazing, he breathed. I swear, I'll pay you back as soon as this next client pays me. You're literally saving my life right now. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe I wasn't just plugging another hole in someone else's sinking ship. Just be careful, okay? I said. I can't do this all the time. You won't have to, he promised. This is just temporary. Once things take off, I'm going to spoil you so hard. Spoil me. Funny how the only one getting spoiled was him. 2 weeks later, I was scrolling Instagram on my lunch break when his story popped up. There he was, posing in a mirror at some boutique, wearing a new pair of designer sunglasses. The caption read, "Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself." I zoomed in on the tag in the corner. I knew that brand. $300 at least. My thumb hovered over the screen as my stomach dropped. $600 for his brakes. $300 for his sunglasses. My text to him was short. Me. Nice sunglasses. Did you pay the mechanic back yet? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Brandon. Babe, seriously? I told you, as soon as my client pays me, I'll send it back. The glasses were on sale, and I needed them for content. You know how important image is for my brand. There it was again. His brand, my balance. I stared at the messages, then locked my phone and went back to work, pretending the numbers in my spreadsheet were the only ones that mattered. But a crack had formed, a hairline fracture right down the middle of my trust. Month 5 was his birthday. I was stupidly excited about it. That's the part I wish I could shake myself over now. For someone who made me feel so small about money, I still wanted to make him feel big. He'd been hinting for weeks. There's this resort upstate, he said one night, scrolling through photos. Spa, infinity pool, incredible restaurants. It'd be such a dream to celebrate there. I glanced over his shoulder. The place was beautiful. And shockingly expensive. Looks great, I said slowly. Definitely out of my budget for a weekend, though. He shrugged. I mean, yeah, for me too, obviously. But you're always talking about how you never treat yourself. You've got all this in savings and you don't even touch it. What's the point of working so hard if you don't enjoy life? The words hit home in a way he probably didn't even realize. He wasn't entirely wrong. I did save. A lot. Years of scraping my way out of debt had made me cautious. Maybe too cautious. Think about it, he added gently. Just once. For us. For the memories. For the content I would later mentally correct. I told myself it was fine. One big weekend. I could afford it. I booked the resort, the spa package, the tasting menu dinner. $2,000 vanished from my account. For his birthday, I wrapped the confirmation in an envelope and slid it across the table at my kitchen island. He opened it, eyes widening. No way! Are you serious? Layla, this is insane. I smiled, nerves fluttering in my chest. Happy birthday. He got up, came around the island, lifted me off the stool, and spun me in a circle. Best girlfriend ever, he said into my neck. I'm going to post the sickest content from this trip. There it was. Not, I can't believe you did this for me. Not, how can I spoil you back? Content. The resort was beautiful, I won't lie. Gorgeous lobby, infinity edge pool overlooking the woods, soft robes, and staff who addressed us by name and handed us champagne flutes like we were important. Brandon was in heaven. He documented everything. Our room tour, the spa robe selfie, the breakfast buffet, the dinner plating, the way the steam rose from his espresso. But if you looked at his posts, you wouldn't have known I existed beyond the role of camera operator and occasional prop. My birthday getaway, one caption read. My gift to myself for grinding all year. Nothing like treating yourself right. Every time he said my, a little more of my patience evaporated. One night, we were lying in bed after an expensive dinner he'd spent 40 minutes filming. I was exhausted, slightly buzzed, drifting off. Hey, he murmured, scrolling through his photos. Do you mind sending me that shot you took of me by the pool? The one where I'm looking away. Sure, I mumbled, turning to grab my phone. You gonna tag me this time? He chuckled. Babe, my followers don't want relationship content. It kills engagement, you know that. My hand stilled over the screen. Oh, I said, so I'm good enough to pay for your content, just not to exist in it? He didn't look up. Don't be dramatic, it's just how the algorithm works. I stared at the ceiling, the soft white of the resort's mood lighting, suddenly too bright. I felt used. I told myself I was being paranoid. A week after we got back, my friend Jake got married. I brought Brandon as my date. It was a simple wedding. Backyard ceremony, rented tent, string lights. Romantic in its own way, but definitely not the luxury venue vibe Brandon liked to post about. From the moment we arrived, he was off. He wrinkled his nose at the catering setup. No plated meals? Just buffet? They're on a budget, I said. They saved up a lot just to make this happen. He scanned the bar. No top shelf? Seriously? It's their wedding. Not everyone needs premium vodka to say I do, Brandon, I said lightly, trying to brush it off. He huffed. I just think if you're going to do a wedding, you should do it right. Throughout the night, he complained. The food was okay for what it was. The DJ was cheesy. The chairs were uncomfortable. The cake was too dense. At one point, I caught him filming the dessert table with a smirk. Gotta show my followers what a budget wedding looks like, he said. Don't post that, I snapped. That's my friend's big day. It's not your content. He rolled his eyes. Relax. No one knows who they are. I do, I said. And they're kind, and they're happy, which is more than I can say about you right now. His jaw tightened. Why are you attacking me? I can't have opinions now? A few of my friends were standing close enough to hear. Their eyes darted between us, uncomfortable. Heat rose to my cheeks. Embarrassment, anger, something else I couldn't yet name. I should have ended it that night. I knew it, deep down. Instead, I apologized after we got home. I told him I was just stressed, that I was sensitive, that I overreacted. He let me. Month 6 was when the trip talk turned into the trip campaign. It started casually. Wouldn't it be amazing to go to Barcelona? He said one lazy Sunday, scrolling through travel photos. The architecture, the food, we'd have the best time. It would, I agreed. Someday. He turned his head, studying me. Someday? I mean, it's not cheap, I said. Flights, hotel, everything. It'd be a big expense. He nodded slowly. Yeah, I get it. I just assume someone at your career level probably does trips like that sometimes. The implication hit me square in the chest. People with your income. People like you. People who don't hoard their money, Layla. I laughed it off, but he kept planting the seeds. Screenshots of hotels, TikToks of couples clinking glasses overlooking European cityscapes, stories of friends whose partners had whisked them off to Paris, Rome, Santorini. Look how happy they look, he'd say, holding his phone out. Her boyfriend surprised her with flights. That's romance. It's also $5,000, I said. He sighed. You're always so practical. Practical, cheap, stubborn, controlling. The synonyms shifted, but the message stayed the same. The more he pushed, the more I found myself wavering. Not because I wanted Barcelona that badly, but because I didn't want to be the villain in his version of the story. Month 7, he escalated. He came over one night with this exaggerated mix of excitement and vulnerability. Okay, I did a thing, he said, dropping his bag by the door. Good thing or bad thing? I asked. He grinned, pulling out his phone. I found this insane deal on a hotel in Barcelona. 5 nights, rooftop pool, central location. I put it on hold for us. We just have to book the flights. He showed me the listing. €400 a night. Multiply that by 5 nights. Add flights, food, everything else. We were looking at 4,000 to 5,000 minimum. Brandon, I said slowly, that's a lot of money. For you? He laughed, but there was no warmth in it. Come on, Layla. You act like you're broke. I'm not broke, I replied. I'm careful. That's why I'm not broke. He sank onto the couch, eyes shining. You don't get it. This would be huge for us. We've both been stressed, busy, barely seeing each other. A trip like this? It'd be a reset, a romantic getaway, a couple's trip. He placed his hand over mine. We deserve it. I hesitated. He lowered his voice. Honestly, sometimes I feel like you don't value us the way I do. My head snapped up. What? All my friends' girlfriends get trips, he said. Weekend getaways, surprise flights. They don't have to beg. Their boyfriends just do it. Because they care, because they want them to be happy. I swallowed hard. So if I don't drop $5,000 on you, I don't care about you. He sighed, looking away. That's not what I said. But it was exactly what he meant. Tears welled up in his eyes, and that was the moment I lost the argument. Not because I was wrong, but because I still thought love meant fixing whatever made the other person sad, even if they'd caused it. I'll book it, I heard myself say. The flights, the hotel, all of it. His face lit up immediately. The tears vanished like fog in sunlight. Seriously? Babe, you won't regret this, I swear. He grabbed me, kissed me, spun me around the living room. It's going to be amazing. For 3 days after that, he was the best boyfriend in the world. Attentive, affectionate, grateful. Then, just like that, he slipped back into normal. Distant, entitled, eyes fixed on his phone while he planned his Barcelona content strategy. I lay awake one night, staring at the ceiling, listening to him breathing beside me, and felt a cold, quiet dread settle in my chest. I had just spent thousands of dollars on a vacation I didn't even really want, with a man I was starting to suspect didn't really love me. I told myself I'd at least enjoy the trip, then think about ending things when we got back. I had no idea that by the time we landed, the end would already be written, somewhere between seat 2A and 34B. The week before Barcelona, everything finally cracked. It started with something small, like they always do. Brandon called me late one night, voice sharp and irritated. "So I was looking at the flights," he said, "and I think we should add an extra day. Just one. It'll give us more time to explore. 5 nights isn't enough." I rubbed my temples. I'd been answering emails since 6 a.m., exhausted, brain fried. "I told you already," I said gently. "I can't take more time off work. My team is already stretched thin. I can't disappear for another day." He went quiet, too quiet. Then he exhaled dramatically. "So, you care more about work than us." My stomach dropped. "Brandon, that's not fair and you know it." "Nothing's fair," he snapped. "Like me having to fund my own vacation because you're too cheap to let loose for once." I froze. "Fund your own vacation?" I repeated. "Brandon, I paid for everything." He scoffed. "Yeah, but it's for us. For the relationship. You're acting like you're doing me a favor." I sat down, heart pounding. "I'm paying for both flights, the hotel, the meals, everything. How is that not a favor?" He raised his voice. "See? This is what I mean. You're keeping score. It's disgusting." "You brought it up," I snapped. He groaned. "If you really loved me, you'd be excited to make memories instead of obsessing about money." And there it was, the emotional chokehold. I'd heard versions of it from past partners. If you really loved me, you'd change. If you really cared, you'd sacrifice more. If you really valued us, you wouldn't think about the cost. It was manipulation disguised as romance. "I'm not adding another day," I said, my voice draining of all its softness. "Not this time." He hung up on me. We barely spoke for the next week. And honestly, I was relieved. For the first time, the distance felt like breathing room. I decided I'd go on the trip, enjoy what I could, and end things when we got home. But the universe, or karma, had a far better storyline in mind. Day of the flight. I met Brandon at the airport 3 hours early, just like he insisted. He said early arrivals were elite traveler energy, but really, he just wanted time to film aesthetic departure content. From the moment I saw him, I knew something was off. He was giddy. Too giddy, like a child hiding a secret behind his teeth. "Morning, babe," he said, kissing my cheek with exaggerated sweetness. I blinked. "You're in a great mood." "Why wouldn't I be?" he asked, grin wide. "Barcelona, baby." He laced his fingers through mine like nothing had happened, like we hadn't fought all week, like he hadn't called me cheap again. We checked in our bags together. I'd booked us both economy. We'd discussed it, repeatedly. "First class is ridiculous," I'd said. "It's only 7 hours," I'd said. "It's not worth the price," I'd said. And he'd agreed, enthusiastically. Apparently, that agreement only lasted long enough for him to use it against me later. Security split us into different lines. He waved at me from the pre-check lane he'd managed to charm his way into, while I trudged through the regular queue. By the time I met him at the gate, he was seated comfortably, typing furiously, smiling at something on his phone. "Who are you texting?" I asked casually. He didn't even look up. "Casey." His female best friend. The one who always joked about stealing him from me. The one who called me practical like it was an insult. The one he swore I was insecure about for no reason. I said nothing. Boarding began. Group 1, first class and business. Brandon stood up. I frowned. "Why are you standing? We're group 4. He adjusted his backpack strap. "Oh, I upgraded." The words didn't register at first. "You upgraded?" I echoed. "Yeah," he shrugged. "I'm not doing 8 hours in economy. My back's been killing me." My pulse skipped. "Brandon, how did you pay for that?" He smiled like the sun. "Don't worry about it." "No," I said, my voice suddenly sharp. "How did you pay for it?" He sighed, annoyed with me, as if I were ruining the moment. "I used your card. My vision tunneled." "What card?" I asked, even though I knew. "The one you gave me when my car needed towing," he said casually. "Relax. It was just a few $100s. "You said you deleted that number." "I meant after the tow," he said. "Obviously." Boarding continued around us. People moved in a line. The world kept turning, while mine tilted left. Brandon leaned in and kissed my cheek as if I weren't about to combust. "We're going on vacation," he whispered. "Don't be dramatic." Then he stepped forward, handed his boarding pass to the gate agent, and walked toward first class without looking back. I stood there, rooted to the airport carpet, watching the man I paid to fly across the world disappear behind a frosted curtain paid with money he stole from me. And right then, in that humiliation, a strange calm settled over me. It wasn't heartbreak, it wasn't anger, it was clarity. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and saw the charge. $673. Airline purchase. Posted. He'd done it in the terminal, right in front of me. I inhaled, exhaled, and smiled. If this was how he wanted the story to go, fine. But he was not going to like Act 2. On the flight, 34B. My seat was 34B, middle, wedged between a man smelling like onions and a woman juggling a toddler who was aggressively anti-napping. 7 long hours, but I didn't mind. I had a mission. I connected to the plane's Wi-Fi. $8. Best $8 I've ever spent. First, I opened our airline reservation. 2 tickets, round trip. I clicked on his return flight. Cancel ticket. A warning popped up. Cancellation fee may apply. I pressed confirm without blinking. Next, I opened my credit card app and filed an unauthorized charge claim for the first class upgrade. I gave him the number for a one-time emergency, I typed. He used it again without permission. I submitted the form. Then I blocked his number. Then his email. Then every friend of his who'd ever messaged me. Then his best friend Casey. I stared at my phone screen. Clean, silent, finally mine again, and leaned back against the stiff airplane seat. Somewhere in seat 2A, Brandon was sipping champagne, thinking he'd gotten away with it. Somewhere in the back of the plane, I was planning the end. And in 7 hours, he would walk into Barcelona with no idea his life had just changed forever. By the time we landed in Barcelona, Brandon was glowing. He stepped off the jet bridge looking refreshed, stretched out, pampered, like the world had catered to him personally for 7 straight hours. Meanwhile, I emerged from 34B looking like someone who had just fought a sleep-deprived toddler and lost. He spotted me at baggage claim and gave me a little wave, champagne light in his voice. "Wasn't that flight amazing?" he said. "First class is unreal. You should have upgraded too, babe." My silence was the exact opposite of champagne. He didn't notice. We took separate cabs to the hotel. I didn't offer to share one. He didn't ask why. Check-in was smooth. Our rooms were on different floors, something I'd chosen on purpose when booking, because I already knew this trip might end with a breakup. He turned toward me after receiving his key card. "So, dinner?" "I'm tired," I said bluntly. "Going to bed?" He pouted. Actually pouted. "You're being boring. Come on, we're in Spain." "I'm tired," I repeated. He rolled his eyes. "Fine, I'll go by myself." "Enjoy," I said. And for the first time in months, I meant it. Day 1. Silence. Brandon texted me in the morning. "Brandon, brunch? I found a rooftop spot." I didn't respond. 5 minutes later, my phone rang, even though I'd blocked him. International calls bypass certain blocks. I let it ring. He left a voicemail. "You're really going to ignore me the whole trip? That's mature." I put my phone on silent, walked out of the hotel, and stepped into Barcelona's warm, honey-colored morning as if I'd just stepped into another life. And in a way, I had. I went to the Sagrada Familia. No one rushed me. No one complained it was too touristy. No one asked me to retake their photo 20 times so the lighting hit their jawline perfectly. I stood inside that basilica, light fracturing through stained glass onto the stone like some celestial watercolor, and I let myself breathe. It was the first breath that belonged entirely to me in months. Afterward, I wandered through the winding streets, bought gelato from a tiny shop where the owner barely spoke English, and sat on a park bench just watching the city move. No Brandon, no pressure, no performance. Just Layla, alone, whole, free. Day 2. Growing panic. Brandon's text shifted from annoyed to frantic. "Brandon, seriously, where are you? This is ridiculous. We're supposed to be on vacation together. Stop acting like a child." The irony nearly made me laugh out loud. I spent day 2 doing exactly what I'd always wanted to do, wandering museums, eating tapas at local spots, drinking a tiny glass of vermouth at a crowded bar where the stools wobbled and the food was perfect. I didn't check my phone once. When I finally returned to the hotel that night, I saw his messages had turned venomous. "Brandon, wow, okay, fine. I'll enjoy Barcelona without you." Good luck with that, I thought. Day 3. The consequences hit. Apparently, the hotel had tried to charge his room for the previous 2 nights' worth of room service, minibar snacks, and, of course, a few content-worthy cocktails he'd filmed and tagged as hashtag hosted, even though they were very much hashtag Layla funded. But I'd called the hotel on day 1 and removed my card from his reservation. So when the charges ran on day 3, his card declined. 5 times. I was in a tiny restaurant in Elborn. 6 tables, handwritten menu, the kind of place that felt like a secret. When my phone buzzed. Brandon, why did the hotel just try to charge your card for my room stuff? They said it declined. What did you do? Seriously, fix this. No greeting, no explanation, just demands. I didn't respond. 20 minutes later. Brandon, stop ignoring me. This isn't funny. They're saying I need a valid card for incidentals. I don't have the limit for this. Come fix this now. I sipped my wine and savored the fish stew. The universe had excellent timing. Day 4, the call. By the 4th day, he had moved from angry to frightened. He tried calling 5 times that morning. I ignored every single attempt. Around noon, I picked up, not out of mercy, but because I wanted to hear exactly how he would spin this. He didn't even wait for me to say hello. Where have you been? He exploded. This is insane, Layla. You're ruining this trip. I thought you'd be enjoying first class, I said evenly. Oh my God, are you serious? You're still mad about that? You used my card. It was barely $600. You stole from me. That is not stealing, Layla. We're together. Couples share things. Like credit card numbers? I asked. Or like me funding your lifestyle. There was a beat. A long one. Then he went nuclear. You're a selfish bitch. You've been using me emotionally for months, and now you're punishing me because you're insecure and controlling. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was textbook. You begged me for this trip, I said calmly. You cried, said I didn't value us. And then you upgraded your seat and left me in economy without a word. He went silent for a moment, then, with quiet venom, so, you could have upgraded too. With what money, Brandon? Another long silence. Then I delivered the line that changed everything. Check your return flight. What? Why? Because I canceled it. Dead air. Then, you what? His voice cracked so loudly I had to hold the phone away from my ear. You canceled my flight home? Yes, I said. On the plane, while you were sipping champagne. Are you insane? I have no money, Layla. None. You stranded me. I didn't strand you, I said. Your choices did. You need to fix this, he screamed. No, I said, I really don't. Then I hung up, blocked him again, and went to get a pastry. His desperation, the messages. Blocked numbers didn't stop him. He used WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, even random Spanish numbers he must have begged from hotel staff or strangers. The messages came in waves. Brandon, you can't do this. I'm stuck here. I have no money. The consulate can't help unless you send me funds. My parents won't help. I'm scared. Please, please, stop ignoring me. I know you see this. Anything that happens to me is your fault. Layla, answer me. I didn't. I had spent months, years, really, cleaning up after men like him. Not anymore. He called me dangerous. He called me heartless. He called me every name in the book. None of it mattered. I wasn't punishing him. I was simply letting him experience life without my wallet. It wasn't abandonment. It was equality. Day 5. My flight home. I checked out of the hotel, grabbed breakfast, then spent my last hours strolling through the Gothic quarter with a lightness in my step I hadn't felt in years. I bought small gifts for friends, ate a warm pastry, sat at a cafe with a cortado, watching the world go by as Brandon's chaos unfolded somewhere else entirely. At the airport, as I waited at the gate, an unknown number buzzed again. Brandon, I'm at the American consulate. They said you're my emergency contact. You need to wire me money for a flight. I blocked it. Another. Brandon, please, I'm serious. I don't know what to do. I can't sleep here another night. I deleted it. A third number. Brandon, fine, don't help me. But remember this. Anything that happens is on you. That one I responded to. Me. No, it's on you. Actions have consequences. Good luck, Brandon. Then I boarded my plane. 34B again. And I had never felt freer in my life. My flight home felt different. Not happier, not triumphant. Just lighter. Like someone had finally taken a 180-pound emotional backpack off my spine. I slept through half the flight, woke up to the glow of the cabin lights, and watched clouds drift below me while sipping a tiny plastic cup of apple juice. Somewhere down there, Brandon was scrambling through a foreign city with no money, no return flight, no sympathy left to manipulate out of me. And for the first time since I met him, his problems weren't mine. I landed, got my bag, went home, took the longest shower of my life, and slept in my own bed. Alone, peaceful, weightless. The next morning, I went to work like nothing had happened. Because for me, the story was already over. For Brandon, the epilogue had just begun. The news trickles in. About a week later, my friend Jake called. "Well," he said, barely containing a laugh, "your boy finally made it home." I sipped my coffee. Alive then? Barely. His parents had to wire him money for the cheapest possible flight, multiple layovers. And get this, he had to sleep in Heathrow for 12 hours, literally on the floor. I smiled into my mug. Fitting. Also, Jake continued, he's telling everyone you were abusive and controlling. I laughed, out loud. Of course he is. Just wanted to warn you, Jake said. He's trying to spin it. Let him, I said. Anyone who knows me won't buy it. And they didn't. Not one person who knew both of us reached out to scold or shame me. They all said the same thing. We wondered how long you'd put up with him. When they said that, I felt equal parts validated and stupid. Because the truth was, Brandon hadn't fooled anyone except me. The letter from his parents. About 10 days after I got back, I found a crisp envelope in my mailbox. Return address, his parents. Inside was a 3-paragraph lecture. They accused me of abandoning their son in a dangerous situation. They demanded I reimburse them the $12,200 they spent on his flights. They threatened legal action if I didn't pay within 30 days. I sat at my kitchen table, read it twice, then laughed so hard my cat looked offended. Still, I'm not stupid. I forwarded it to a lawyer I trusted, someone who'd helped me with a contract dispute a few years back. He called me an hour later, chuckling. They have no case, he said. You didn't trap him in Spain. He's an adult. He misused your credit card. If anything, he could be charged. If they actually file anything, send it to me. They won't. He was right. I never heard from them again. The credit card ruling. 2 weeks later, I received a message from my bank. Fraud claim resolved. Customer found not liable. They credited me the entire $673. I stared at the notification for a long moment. This wasn't about the money. This was about validation. Someone, finally, officially acknowledged what Brandon had done. He stole from me. He used me. He counted on me being too kind, too patient, too embarrassed to stand up for myself. And he was wrong. The workplace incident. A month after I got home, Brandon showed up at my job. Yep, he actually drove across town, marched into the lobby, and demanded to see me. Security had already been warned. I'd told them he might try something, so they intercepted him before he could get near the offices. My coworker called me from downstairs. Your ex is in the lobby screaming things. I went to the second-floor mezzanine and looked over the railing. There he was in the parking lot, flanked by 2 guards, face red, pacing like a furious toddler. You ruined my life, Layla. You owe me. You stranded me. You're sick. You're a monster. I stood there quietly, arms folded over the railing, watching the meltdown like I was at the zoo. He saw me and pointed dramatically. You think you can walk away? You think you can ignore me? You owe me for everything. I didn't respond. Didn't speak. Didn't flinch. Security escorted him off the property while he screamed at the sky. It was the last time I saw him. The shift, new love. 2 months later, when my heart was calm again and the shadows of that relationship had finally loosened, I met someone new. His name was Daniel. He's a trauma nurse. Smart, grounded, warm. We met at the gym of all places, reaching for the same dumbbell. He apologized first. I laughed first. We got coffee after our workout. When the check came, he reached for it. So did I. Oh, he said, surprised. You want to split? Yes, I said, please. He didn't make a face. He didn't protest dramatically. He didn't insist. He smiled. Sounds fair. We split the $640 bill. The next date, dinner at a mid-range place he suggested, the check came. Again, he reached for it. No performance. No waiting for me to react. I put my hand over his card. I've got this one. He smiled and let me. And on the 3rd date, he paid. On the 4th, I paid. On the 5th, we split. We matched effort for effort, kindness for kindness, investment for investment. Not a single moment felt transactional. For the first time, I wasn't someone's provider or prop. I was a partner. The lessons. Looking back, Barcelona was the best money I ever spent. Not because of the trip, but because of what it revealed. If Brandon hadn't been so brazen, if he'd kept the manipulation quiet and subtle, I might have stayed another year, or 2, maybe longer. I might have married him one day. I might have merged finances. I might have been bled dry in ways far more destructive. But he flew too close to the sun, and his fall freed me. Now I know the red flags I'll never ignore again. Someone who never reaches for their wallet. Someone who pouts when you suggest affordable options. Someone who uses words like cheap to manipulate you. Someone who sees your success as their entitlement. Someone who expects you to fund their lifestyle. Someone who keeps financial score only in their favor. Someone who steals from you and calls it love. Those people exist. I'm just no longer one of their targets. The final message. 3 months after Barcelona, Brandon texted me from a new number. Brandon, I miss you. Can we talk? I replied, no. 2 minutes later. Brandon, I've changed. I'm in therapy. I want to make things right. I responded, good for you. Do it for the next woman. His final message, Brandon, there's no one like you. And my final reply, I know that's why you're texting. Then I blocked him and walked forward, without guilt, without regret, without looking back. Because I didn't strand him. He stranded himself. I just stopped carrying him.